Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of How to Reach 2000. Starting off with a rating of 1106, we get the white pieces. Let's start with d4. We're playing against someone rated 1041. Let's play the London system. They play d5 to prevent us from going e4 and grabbing the whole center. I really like playing the London in like an aggressive way, and hopefully I can demonstrate that in this game. This is kind of a weird move. It kind of hopes for me to play e3 and then hang my queen, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not pre-moving. So I'm going to play h3 to kick away this bishop. If they go here, then I'll probably just play c3. And they're just wasting time moving their bishop. Now they went there. They could have just done that in one move, and they just gave me an extra move. And in some positions, h3 is beneficial, especially when the knight on f6 wants to go to h5 and grab this bishop. Now the bishop has an escape square, and also in the endgame, we're not going to get back rank checkmated. Let's play e3, which opens up our queen and the bishop. We're probably going to move our bishop to the d3 square, and if they take us, we're going to capture with the queen, and we have a nice and centralized queen. There we go. Pre-move this just in case. We could also consider taking with the pawn, but I really like taking with the queen. It also opens up the opportunity to play this check, and then potentially win this pawn. Okay, they play this. I don't really want to take and allow them to get a good clamp in the center, although I can follow it up with queen to d3, putting pressure on this pawn. And if they don't play this, I can play check and then take this pawn. But I'm not trying to play hope chess. If they play queen d7, then I don't have anything. I don't really want to give up the control of the e4 square. So there are some cases in which double pawns are not as bad as one might think. They play this, understandable. It's a pretty good move. The drawback of the move h3 was I cannot play bishop to g3, and if they take me, I cannot take with the h-pawn. So I no longer have the option to play bishop to g3. I can just keep the bishop here and say that if they take me, I'm going to take with the f-pawn, and I have a good clamp in the center. So I don't have to do anything right now. I can also take, but I don't think I want to do that because first of all, they can take with the pawn and my knight is never going to go there. And I could also consider jumping the knight in straight away. And if they take me, I'm going to take. So if they take my knight, I'm going to take with the bishop, and that's not a bad position. The bishop for knight trade is beneficial for the white pieces because that leaves us with the bishop pair. Yes, one of the bishops can be traded, but I prefer having the bishop rather than the knight. The bishop pair might not be like there for a long time, but it might be there. I don't know. I like putting the knight here because it clogs the center and they can never play e5. Also, if they play here and then try to take my knight, I can take with the d pawn and I'll have a fork of the bishop and the knight. So if they want to get rid of this knight, they would probably have to move this knight away and play f6, which weakens a bit of the position. And it's not easy to play this because I can just take. And if they want to go here, I'm okay with it. Worst case scenario, we're just going to trade a few pieces. They play c5, very principled move against the London system. They're putting pressure on this pawn. But right now I don't have to do anything crazy. I also have the option to play this and then play f4, which looks really interesting. In fact, I kind of like that. It's like a stone wall, but my bishop isn't that bad. I can also play this move, which looks nice. This, and if they take me, I'm going to take with the pawn. They have to play this. I'm going to go here, and they have to play g5. and I'm gonna take their knight. They have to take my bishop, and that looks like a really bad position for them. So after this, they cannot take my knight. My idea is to play this and then play f4. I can play h6, but I'm not too worried. I can either drop back. Oh wait, I cannot drop back, can I? I actually kind of like playing this move because if I provoke this and here, I feel like that's beneficial for me. So I'm gonna go for this. Beginner principles say that you shouldn't move your piece twice in the opening when you've not developed your other pieces, but I kind of like this idea. Obviously they can just play this and do nothing, but I'm gonna play f4. My idea is to make the knight very solid on the e5 square. Okay, c takes d4. I'm gonna play e takes d4. This pawn structure has been quite common in the series of How to Reach 2000 because I play the Caro-Kann and if white chooses to play the exchange Caro-Kann, then the structure looks very similar. In this case I play the London, which is similar to a Caro-Kann, but black is playing the Caro-Kann, so like it's kind of weird. But the positions look very similar. I'm gonna go f4. If they take, I still have this, and I'm winning a piece. They were threatening to take my knight and then take the pawn with the bishop, so I had to defend my knight. If they play h6, I'm not worried. I'm just gonna drop my bishop back, and eventually I'm gonna play g4 and then g5. h6 is what we call a hook. It can allow us to open up the position because we can attack the knight and the pawn at the same time, and we can open lines by using that hook. Hopefully I get the opportunity to demonstrate that. This is kind of annoying. They're attacking our b2 pawn and also they got rid of the pin. What to do? I really don't want to trade queens. Also that might be bad because I'm taking a defender off the square. Did I misplay this position? If this and here? Okay, this is interesting. If takes, and if they take this, can I just come back with my bishop? And if they take my rook, can I play queen here? And in that position I'm threatening castles and then knight to d2. That's a lot of arrows, excuse me. I'm not trying to be Hikaru, I promise, but position demands a few arrows. Let's try this. They can take. If they take, I'm probably gonna go here. Really bad positional chess, by the way, because this bishop is very valuable for my position. A lot of the pawns are on dark squares. I don't know why I went for that. I just felt like it was a good move without any concrete reason. And now I feel like I can bring the bishop back. So what I was saying is if I bring the bishop back and if they take my rook, I can play this move queen to b3, and let's say they just play this random move. I'm gonna castle and I'm threatening to play knight to d2 and then trap his queen. So I'm gonna go for that. Hopefully this actually works and I'm not being a total idiot, but it is what it is. Okay, they go for this. Now I'm gonna play this. My idea is not to take the pawn, by the way. It's to castle and then play knight d2. Let's say the queen sacrifices for the rook. Then they have two rooks and I have a queen and a bishop. So that would be winning for me. So, is there this move? Like, that's kind of crazy. I hope that move is not a good move. The reason why I'm worried about that is because if I take with the pawn, queen takes this. But also I'm not super worried about that because then I have two pieces for the rook. I go for this. My instincts are saying just take that knight so that this pawn is not as attacked. Also, now I'm closer to castling. So that was kind of like a waste of time. Now I also have the option to take the free knight, which makes a ton of sense. I'm gonna come back. Now we have equalized material and the black queen is very stuck. So it's gonna get trapped, most likely. It's a very nice position, by the way. Although my knight is kind of stuck. I play that. Very good move. But I can just castle. And my threat is to simply play knight d2 and trap his queen. Oh wait, that doesn't even trap his queen. I'm not even threatening to play this because this pawn is going to be undefended. So that's a crazy position. Also, I cannot play knight to e5 because of f6, which forks the bishop and the knight. This position is very complicated. Of course, the engine's gonna laugh at me and say I'm so bad at chess, but it is what it is. Maybe I have this idea. Oh, that looks interesting. I think I'm gonna go for that next. Ah, so they're trying to make me go here. Such a crazy position. Do I have this? It's a fork. If they push, then I can probably just take this, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I can play this. Yeah, so if they push, attacking my queen, I'm gonna play this. And then I'm gonna take one of the rooks, and I will be completely winning. Even if we don't win the queen, we just have to make sure that the queen can never get into the game. If it does get into the game, then we are not as winning, because then the material would be quite equal. In this position, the material is equal, but I'm winning one of the rooks, so I'm going to be up in exchange, and the black queen is going to be stuck in this corner. It cannot just move anywhere. Yeah, a4 doesn't work because of this, and then I take one of the rooks. Pretty nice game. Now I'll also attack this, but I have no intention to take that pawn. Because if I take that pawn, they can take my a2 pawn. And in that position, this a pawn becomes a huge asset. This is what's called an outside passed pawn. It can go down the board pretty easily and cause a lot of problems for me. So I'm definitely not willing to take this pawn, even if it's left there to die. I'm just making sure that the queen cannot go here or here, and the knight makes sure that this is not possible. Okay, they sacrifice the rook, and on top of that, they just trap their own queen. Because of this, knight takes traps the queen, and this rook is hanging. That was a poor choice by my opponent. Let's take this. Take the free pawn. Idea is to play this. It's a decent move. Can try this. He takes my knight, I'm gonna take his rook. My opponent's about to flag. I'm gonna take this, free pawn. Now I don't have to start taking everything, but I can just be solid and... Oh, that's a decent move. If I take with the knight, they have this. So I'm gonna take with the pawn. So that if this comes, that's not really a threat. My opponent flags. We take the win. I'm rated 1125. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.